Hello, guys. Welcome to Creative Presentation, and more importantly, welcome to Full Sail University. Is anyone excited? Yes, no, maybe so? Awesome, awesome. I'm glad to see that you guys are excited. This is, of course, our first go-to training. So I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of feedback on what to expect in the class for the next month, some ways that you can kind of help yourself out by getting things done early, and as well as an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you might have in real time. So let's go ahead and get started. So first and foremost, we will have these sessions every single week, but if for any reason you're unable to make it to any of them, these sessions will be recorded, and I can guarantee you I will post them online within 24 hours so that you still have access to them. Maybe I answer a question of yours during the presentation, and while you're working on your assignment, you're like, hey, I remember her mentioning something about that. Now you can go back and look at it, so you always have access to it. Of course, if you can't attend a live session, it is absolutely okay. We try to structure them so that they are most convenient, but however, everyone has different responsibilities and everyone's in different time zones, so this is the best way for us to do it. If for any reason, like I said, you're unable to attend the session when it occurs, then please go back and listen to the recording, because I'll give you very specific details as to what I'm looking for your assignments. So first, I want to touch on the chat box. I'm glad that some of you have figured out that you are more than welcome to use it. I will do my very best to respond to your questions throughout the course of the presentation as well. If you post them in the chat box, I just wanted you to know that that is completely an option for you as well. So first, I wanted to cover some small basics of the class. You will need a device for this class, so that could be a standard PC, a Mac computer, a tablet, an iPad. I have seen students use their smartphones in the class before. It's just going to take some adjusting to get used to it. Of course, Wi-Fi internet. If you do not have it at home, then by all means, please go check around you. I'm sure, there's Starbucks, there's Wawa if you're here in Florida, there is someone else, give me other places that I'm missing. The library oftentimes has free Wi-Fi. Are there any other locations that I'm missing, guys? McDonald's, yeah, absolutely, McDonald's, but I've heard that they try to make you actually purchase something there before you use their free Wi-Fi. So yes, that's also an option as well. But of course, you will need Wi-Fi internet to complete your assignments and to submit everything to me every week. Of course, for this particular class in particular, there's no need for you to go out and purchase a super high-end laptop, desktop computer to complete your assignments, particularly for this first week. Your only assignments will really be in the standard word processing programs. And then as we go throughout the course, I've had students pretty much use the standard Microsoft Office PowerPoint. So don't feel like you have to go get a super expensive computer in order to create your work for this particular class. So with that said, because I said Microsoft Office Word, I want everyone, of course, to make sure that you set up your Office 365. Has everyone done that? Yes, awesome. Perfect. Then I don't even have to tell you guys how to do it. You're amazing. But for those of you that have not done it yet, Office 365 does come free as a Full Sail student. So it's very important for you to go ahead and utilize that resource that's available to you. Please note for future instances that PowerPoint on mobile devices does not support audio, which is something that you will need in the future, not next week, not this coming week, but soon. If you're having any issues, of course, with setup, make sure you contact FSO support. They are there to help you. I can only do so much as your teacher. I am not on Full Sail's staff, so I would always recommend that if you're having issues, to please contact FSO support. The reason that we established Office 365 for students is because with this being an online class, you will be submitting all of your work online. So I just wanted to remind all of you, I know no one's going to do this, but I wanted to remind you, please don't turn in any handwritten work. Basically what I'm saying is don't handwrite your notes or your assignment and then try to take pictures of it and upload the pictures to the assignment itself for me to grade. It's just way too hard for me to read, and it causes all sorts of confusion. So make sure that any assignments you do are done on the appropriate processing program. Cool? So first, I love to engage with all of you. So I wanted to know, what are some of the expectations that you have for this class? What do you expect to learn? What are things that you might want to work on? Don't all jump in at once. I feel like singing the Jeopardy theme song. Do 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 do. Oh, I haven't done that in forever. I'm glad I still have it. Awesome. Okay, so everyone is basically saying you want to learn how to present presentations better, making great presenters, fill in gaps to make you great. Okay, awesome. Better ways to present yourself and your work. That will be especially important, and that will be something that we will cover throughout these next 4 weeks together. Well, since you guys have given me some of your feedback as to what you are expecting to get from this class, of course, let me tell you mine, right? Because you have to know what your teacher expects. Comfort zone, right? We've all heard this term probably countless times, and people are always saying, well, it's so important for you to get out of your comfort zone. That's the only way you'll ever learn anything new. And for the sake of presentations, that's very true. You will not get better if you don't force yourself to get out of your comfort zone and to do things that you otherwise might not have had any interest in doing. Especially as artists and creatives, you have to know how to sell yourself and to sell your abilities and your work to people, and creative presentations will always be the best bet for that. So that is the purpose of this class, and that is why we introduce it to you so early on in your career at Full Sail, is because we want you to get comfortable with doing it now, so that in your other courses, as things become more and more challenging for you, you are much more equipped and apt to step into that role. So I put together what I like to call a little survival guide. I know this is, well, pretty much the first day, right? Because classes just opened at midnight. So I wanted to give you some tips on things that you can do to help yourself as you go throughout this course, and things that can make your life a lot easier and help you get the most that you possibly can out of this class. First things first, time management. I cannot tell you guys how important it will be throughout the course of this class, these next 4 weeks. We will talk that this class is pretty time intensive sometimes, especially when you have other responsibilities outside of Full Sail, right? You have kids and jobs and other things that you need to take care of, and we absolutely understand that. So the first thing I can tell you is, please guys, do not fall behind on your assignments. You will have something due every single week, and I want you to stick with it and make sure that you put in the effort that you need to get your assignments completed on time. Because once you fall behind, it's so challenging to catch up with everything else going on in your life. Please always communicate with me, and not just me, but your other instructors that you will have throughout the course of your career here at Full Sail. If you are having issues or things are going on, please let us know. There's not much that we can do for you if you you fall off the face of the earth essentially for the first 2 to 3 weeks of class, and then you pop back up week 4 like, hey, I'm here, we're a little limited as to the assistance and the support that we can provide you to make sure you successfully complete the class. So I'm asking you now to make sure that that doesn't happen. And you guys are a great bunch, so I have no concerns, but I just wanted to put it out there. You will, of course, have to make time for this class. For a lot of people, this is their first time being back in a classroom, quote unquote, for a couple of years, or maybe their first time at all. So I wanted you guys to know ahead of time that this will be something that you will have to commit to, right? You signed up to come to class, you're paying tuition to be here, so please make sure that you understand that is a commitment that you made on your end. And as your instructor, your teacher, I'm here to help you through that process as well. So I just found this little image here online, and I thought it was great because it talks about 10 things that require 0 talent, but ultimately get you 100% respect. So being on time, so making sure that you submit your work on time, right? Because it's an online class. Your work ethic, making sure that what you are turning in is your best quality work, which goes, of course, into your effort. When you're presenting, your body language, your energy, your attitude, your passion, being coachable, meaning that you are able to accept feedback from people and make adjustments as needed. Doing extra, so going above and beyond the call of duty, and of course, always being prepared. These are things that you don't necessarily have to have talent to do, but they will always, always get you the most respect in the room. So I wanted you guys to know that from the beginning. Not only in this course will you need those skills and those talents, but also as you continue throughout Full Sail, as well as in your professional careers. So let me explain to you a little bit how the process works. Of course, the number one thing people always ask me about are grades, right? And I mentioned it before, but I've had a couple people that have just jumped on. So I wanted you guys to know that feel free to use the chat box if you have any questions. As I'm going throughout the presentation, I will do my best to answer them, but feel free to ask me those questions at this time if you guys need to. So understand, of course, this is an accelerated program. That means it moves quickly. So usually by the time you turn in something, you have another assignment due, right? So that goes back to making sure that you're on time with everything that you are completing, because if you send something in 2 or 3 days late, then that means that something else that you could have been doing those first 3 days has now gotten pushed to the back burner. So now everything's running behind schedule. Each class, of course, is 4 weeks long, so we are officially in week 1. Welcome. So this week in this training, I will be talking about the assignments that will be due in week 1. You will be challenged. You don't get the most out of the course if it's super easy, right? Usually, it's like when you go to the gym. You go to the gym, and usually your hardest workouts are the ones that you see the most results from, right? It's not an immediate thing. It's something that you have to keep continuously working on and improving yourself in. So this course is meant to challenge you. Each week, it will get a little bit more intricate as to how your assignments are done. It's completely fine if you're a person that has never done this before, so public speaking of any sorts, presentations of any sorts, it's completely fine. You will still do well in this class as long as you commit yourself to it. You will, of course, have assigned reading, videos to watch, projects that you'll have due each week. I just wanted to make you all aware of that in the very beginning. And then also feedback. There is no webcam, so you should be able to just see my screen, and it's showing that you guys can see it. So if anyone else is having issues with seeing my screen, the grade screen is where we are right now, then please let me know, guys. Feedback. So as your instructor and also as peers of each other in this class, there will be expectations for you all to provide feedback to each other. Please don't take anything personally. The person is just trying to offer you constructive feedback so that you can get better and learn things that you might not otherwise know about. I always tell my students that it's good to have other people point out your quirks sometimes, right? You might have those things that you do that you don't realize you do. And so it's very beneficial to have another person come and tell you that that's something that you do. So please don't take any feedback that you get personally. I'm a very succinct writer, meaning that I don't use a lot of fluff. So please don't be upset or hurt or feel like you did a bad job because my comments or my critiques are very straight to the point. I just want to make sure that you have a very good understanding as to the information I'm giving you so that you can make those corrections and those adjustments and see your scores improve, right? So grades, we talked about that. So other things, of course, if you have not completed already, please go in and complete your online orientation for Full Sail. I highly recommend that you start your assignments first thing in the week. As we go throughout the next couple of weeks, you will see that in the weeks that you have discussion postings, that your first one is due on a Wednesday. So I always tell people to open those assignments on Monday so you can budget how you're going to spend the rest of your week getting everything completed. Please don't wait until Wednesday or Thursday to open your assignments, because now you're rushing trying to get everything done and you're not getting as much out of the class as you possibly could. So please make sure that on Monday mornings when the class is open, that you make sure to go in and review what your assignments are so that you can know how to properly plan your schedule. Allow yourself as much time as possible to work on the assignments, which again goes back into making sure that you're opening everything that Monday morning. A good web browser to use, I would recommend Google Chrome is one that I have a lot of my students use. Safari, yeah, can work as well. It really depends. To my knowledge, there's not too many limitations on web browsers. Most of the things you'll use work on just about every one, so you guys should be good to go. Let's see, what else? Allow yourself a full week to work on the assignments, weighted assignments. So first things first, I always tell my students, life happens, right? Like you can't plan. They're called emergencies because you can't plan for them. They happen without your expectation or your knowledge of them coming up. So I absolutely understand when things happen. And that's part of the benefit of an online class, is that you kind of get to make your own schedule, essentially. So if all else fails and maybe you're just having a rocky week and things just are not working out for you the way that you anticipated, maybe work's been extra long, anything happens, please pay attention to how much your assignments are worth per week. So this week you have a discussion assignment and an analysis assignment that's going to be available. Make sure that if you don't have time to complete anything else, that's what you complete. And that goes for every single week in this class. Of course, I'm not telling you to only do half the class. I'm simply telling you that if life happens and things happen beyond your control, if you cannot complete any other assignment, make sure the assignments that you're completing are the weighted assignments, guys. So usually anything that you have to upload or discussion posting will fall into those categories. Again, for those of you that have just jumped on, go-to training sessions will be every week. It is my expectation that they will be every week on Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. I'm very respectful of your time, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm sorry. I'm very respectful of your time, so I plan on starting right at 7 and being done right at 8 o'clock. View the examples. So for each of your assignments going throughout the next 4 weeks, I have already uploaded videos of previous student examples that will kind of give you a little bit of an idea as to how you can format your work, things that you can include in there. All of these examples by no means are perfect, so there's always going to be places that the students could have done better, and that's what I want you guys to take note of and make sure that you are being that student that does better than that. But if you're really confused on how something should kind of look or what they're really asking you for, then please go in and view those example videos. Lynda.com is an amazing resource that is also provided to you through Full Sail. So for those of you that don't know, it is essentially a web site that has compiled all of these different videos and tutorials on all of these different programs and software. So if you are in mixing and mastering, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of videos on there for that. If you just need to understand how to use the basic Microsoft Excel or Microsoft Publisher, there's plenty of videos for that. Adobe, Photoshop, Illustrator, Spark, All of those are available on lynda.com. So I highly recommend that if it is a program that you think you might need to know more about in the future, that you spend this time now in these earlier courses making yourself familiar with that information, so that when you are needed to use those skills in your future classes, that you already have that background knowledge that will just put you ahead of the game already. So to access it, of course, you have to log into Full Sail Connect. I highly recommend that students check Full Sail Connect on a consistent basis. There's so many different resources provided to you as well. Let's see what else. See, check the class page. Okay, so also please make sure that you check the class page and your Full Sail email daily. I like to try to post announcements throughout the week, kind of giving you updates on things. If I've gotten a couple of consistent questions, I'll try to answer them in my announcements. A little bit of feedback halfway through the semester or through the class, I try to provide, some words of encouragement, things that I've noticed that has consistently happened. I want to be able to give you that feedback. So I recommend that you all, of course, check the class page and your Full Sail email on a very consistent basis. All of you have online student liaisons. These people are absolutely amazing and phenomenal with helping you facilitate throughout the course of the class. Please make sure that you stay in touch with them. Basically, that means that, email them, call them, keep a hand on them, essentially. If you have not heard from them yet, I will definitely tell you by Friday you should have heard from them. This coming Friday. So just keep an eye out for that. Also, if you need help on any other programs, YouTube has a bunch of tutorials that are also available for you as well. Just make sure that you guys use your resources. Again, if you're having any issues with maybe uploading something or things are not working appropriately, then please reach out to Full Sail Support. I previously provided you with their phone number. Here I'm also giving you their email as well. So feel free to use them as a resource. If you're having issues uploading an assignment, I can't really do too much for you as your instructor, so please make sure that while you let me know you're having issues, you also reach out to them as well, because they'll be the people that can give you a little bit more guidance on it than I can. So what do we expect from students? The same thing we expect from students in a traditional classroom setting is what we expect from students here in an online setting. First, do your best, right? I don't have to spend a lot of time on that. I know all of you guys are going to do absolutely phenomenal in this class, but please make sure that everything you turn in is the best of your abilities. Be present. So again, please don't fall into the deep darkness the first week and you have no contact with me or any of your other classmates and then pop back up 2 or 3 weeks later. Please make sure that you are staying on top of your assignments weekly so that you don't have to spend a lot of time catching up. Be professional. This is good practice for when you are in the industry that you want to be in, how to interact with people and engage with people in a professional manner. So make sure that when you are sending any sort of written work, make sure that it's professional. So if it's an email to me, there's a salutation, which means a hello or good morning. It's appropriately addressed, and that you put your full name in the end of your email as well. Don't procrastinate, so don't wait till the last minute to complete your assignments, of course. Again, I've told you if you fall behind, it's a little bit harder to catch up, so just make sure that you stay on top of everything. And then, of course, proofread all of your graded work specifically, including discussion boards. So if you are not the strongest writer, then make sure you utilize a word processing program that has spell check. Grammarly is also a great resource for students. Make sure that your writing is college level, right? This is a college course. And if you are really having issues, the Full Sail Writing Center provides amazing resources for you as well. If you are not able to physically attend the Full Sail Writing Center, then if you log on to FS Connect, it will be able to connect you with some online resources through the Full Sail Writing Center as well. So please just make sure that you proofread all of your work, make sure your punctuation is correct, proper use of capitalization, and this also includes any sort of discussion boards as well. In the chat box, I am not as much of a stickler for punctuation and grammar and all of that. It's a chat box. It's meant for you to be able to interact with us rather quickly. However, anything that's graded that you're actually uploading or posting on a discussion board, make sure that you're following those basic grammar rules. So this week, your 1.3 and your 1.4 assignments do not require you to do any sort of audio recording or use any sort of presentation program. So no PowerPoint, no Keynote, no Spark. You won't have any need for those this week. The only thing you'll need, of course, is a word processing software. So your Word, your Notepad, Google Docs. Is anyone in here not familiar with Google Docs? Everyone's good on it? Good. You guys aren't a talkative bunch. What happened? Is everyone afraid because it's the first day, or has it been a long day? What's going on? There's a couple of you guys here, but listening intently. Okay, that's what I like to see. Awesome, great. You guys are great. Perfect. So again, for this week, the only thing you need will be a word processing program, and you will be fine. You guys are super supportive of each other. I love it. Awesome. So next week, right, let's give you a little bit of look ahead, because I told you this week all you need is a word processing program. So your basic Microsoft Word will do just fine. And everyone has access to Microsoft Word. Why? Because you have Office 365 through Full Sail. So make sure you get it. Your week 2 assignments will require you to record your voice. Gross. I know, it's so hard listening to your voice on playback. But unfortunately, you will have to do it. The more you listen to it, the less weird it sounds, I guess. You get kind of used to the sound of your own voice. So I know. Again, for this class, you don't have to get anything super fancy. You don't need any super powerful microphones. I've had students just record their voice on their smartphone, and then they'll send the audio, of course, to their computer and use it that way. So that is completely an option for you. There are some external mics that you can purchase online. I've seen some for about $6 or $7 if that's the route that you decide to go. But you will need the capability to record your voice. And then week 3, right? And I don't want you guys to be too concerned about the stuff now. I'm just giving you a little bit of information as to what you can expect. Will require a presentation that will have both your voice in it and visual elements, so images, pictures, things of that nature. So now I want you to make sure that you have the capabilities to use your mic and audio, as well as making sure that everything works appropriately. And then I have the image here for Audacity, because it is a voice editing software that a lot of students have used throughout the different classes here at Full Sail. And so I just wanted to make sure that you all were aware of it, if at any point that you need it. Yes, you can use Pro Tools. So boom, right? We're here to help. So that is including me as your instructor, your OSLs, your online student liaisons, Full Sail support. We are absolutely here to help. You just have to let us know how we can help you, right? We're not mind readers, unfortunately. That would be so cool to be a mind reader, but then kind of not cool at the same time. Who knows? But yes, absolutely here to help you. So please keep me informed, keep me in the loop of things. Let me know if you need any assistance, and I will do absolutely everything in my power that I can to help you. So again, going back to the whole professionalism thing, when you are submitting your assignments, make sure that you use online etiquette, spelling, grammar, punctuation, all of that, proper salutations, all of that stuff we've already kind of covered. All right, copyrighted materials. So I recommend that, like I said before, for week 3, you will be using audio as well as visual images. So I wanted to give you a couple of places that you could look for copyright-free images. So Creative Commons, archive.org, there's Pixabay, there's Pexels, there's just Google copyright-free images, and you'll pull up a bunch of different options as to places that you can get copyright-free images. If you choose to use an image with a copyright, make sure that you cite the image. Essentially, all I need to know is the link that you found it, right? Don't just tell me you found it on Google. Go to the actual link where the picture was located and make sure that I have that information as well. There's no expectation in this class for you to use APA citation. However, as you progress throughout your classes here at Full Sail, there will be that expectation. So I just want you to get a little comfortable with making sure that you keep track of where you get your information from. So your book, right? The reason we chose to use Nancy Duarte, right? So I love her last name, is because the way that she has written her book is that the emphasis on creativity when you're presenting, right? Those presentations where they're just sitting there reading the slides and clicking buttons are probably some of the most boring presentations there are sometimes. And the reason that we use this book is because she encourages those creative moments while you're giving your presentation. So we'll talk about using star moments and how to really connect with your audience members. And so that is a great resource for you, as well as Slidology. You'll be using that as well. As far as I know, both books are available to be used in just about any browser, so there shouldn't be a difference in what you see in one browser to another. So you should be good to go with the books. I know some students have had trouble with the highlighting that's already in there in the book, so then I recommend switching it to HTML view. That will kind of get rid of some of those highlights to make it a little bit easier for you to read. Uploading your assignments. So please, guys, only upload one file. So the assignment that you have this week is kind of broken up into 2 compartments. However, there's no need for you to upload 2 different files. Just put it all together in one. And then make sure that your assignment name is in your file. So if you're one of those people that you work with computers often and you're constantly saving things on your computer, then you know how easy it is to lose an assignment. So please don't just save everything as Doc 1, Doc 15, Doc 16, Doc 17. Give yourself some information to know what it is that you're looking at before you ever even open the document. So I'm not picky as far as how you submit it. You can do 1.4, 1.3. You can say brand yourself, first draft. You can put your name in it if you need to. Keep in mind that you are pursuing an online degree, right? So as the time goes on, you're only going to have more and more online documents that you'll be keeping on your computer. So make sure that you guys are naming them appropriately now, because the information that you use in this class will be information that you will want to keep as you go throughout your courses here at Full Sail. Okay, so assignments. Are you guys excited to talk about the assignments that you have this week?
No.
You guys aren't excited? Sad. What?
Sort of excited. You like that.
Huh? Huh?
Okay, so let's talk, right? So that you guys know what you're going to be doing this week. First, the discussion. So on the page for the discussion will be the instructions as well as the rubric that you will need. And essentially the way that your grades are distributed is that each week you'll get a rubric for your assignment, and I will go in and I will check the boxes as to where your assignment falls, and I will send you the rubric along with your grade every single week. So you won't just get a random grade, a random number that got pulled from the sky. You'll have a little bit of feedback in there as to why you got the grade that you got. So for your first discussion is we just want to know about your experiences in public speaking. What have you done? What have you not done? What was an experience that you really remember? Was it a good experience? Was it a bad experience? It's just so everyone can kind of get to know each other and understand understand the background that everyone has in public speaking, just so you can kind of figure out how to help each other where you are on your public speaking scale and your comfortability with delivering presentations. So that will be one of the things that you will cover. So your initial post, and this will pretty much be standard for all of your discussion postings except I believe week 3. Your initial post will be due on Wednesday, right? Not Sunday, it's due on Wednesday. Everyone say Wednesday. Type Wednesday. Or raise your hand if you can hear that I said Wednesday. Wednesday, yes. Wednesday, awesome. You guys all did it simultaneously. I love it. Yes, your initial posting will be due on Wednesday, and your responses to your classmates will be due by the following Sunday. So we are on the 24th today, so your initial posting will be due on the 26th. Please keep in mind that every assignment is due based on Eastern time zone, so 11:59 p.m. Eastern time zone. Make sure you keep track of that. For your initial posting, there is the expectation that you should have at least one solid paragraph answering those prompts that were addressed in the 1.3 discussion instructions. And of course, make sure that your responses are also a couple of sentences of constructive feedback. So basically, don't just tell the person, yeah, I agree with you, that was good, or oh, no, I don't agree with you, or oh, yeah, that sounds fun, or that was a great answer. Give us something to talk about. Try to establish a conversation with that person. Do you have questions? Do you have things that maybe that person could think about when they give other presentations? Try to really establish that connection in those conversations with each other, because in this class, you are each other's network and you are each other's support source as well. So please utilize that as well. So I put on here the RISE model for peer feedback, and this is essentially what I'm looking for when you are responding to your classmates throughout the course of the week. Are you reflecting on what they said? So are you discussing specific parts of their post in your responses? Are you inquiring? So are you asking more thought-provoking questions? Trying to clarify things that might not be clear? Are you providing suggestions? And of course, are you coming up with ideas or trying to expand the discussion beyond its original posting? So what more can you bring to the table to discuss with the person? That's what I'm looking for in your responses to each other. So your next assignment, right? Because I told you this week you'll have 2. So your discussion posting again is due Wednesday for your initial and Sunday for your responses. And I need you to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. You can't get full credit for it unless you respond to at least 2 people. So make sure that you guys do that and you do it on time. Your presentation analysis. So here's the way this assignment works. Remember, I told you only need a word processing software. So you will log on to TED Talks. So www.ted.com. For those of you that have not explored TED Talks before, I'm so sorry. It is an amazing resource of absolutely phenomenal videos on just about every topic you can possibly think of. And so for this assignment, we've asked you to pick 3 different TED Talks. And in those, we want you to answer a couple of questions. What makes a presentation effective, creative, captivating, and inspiring? You can choose absolutely any TED Talk that you want. Just pick 3 of them. I always tell students to pick something that resonates with you. What's a video that's really important to you or that you found really interesting? It's a lot easier for you to analyze those than to pick something that you have no interest in. So make sure in your analysis you answer a couple of questions like why was it powerful or moving? How did they draw you into the subject itself? What made it appealing? Make sure you cover all of the questions that are introduced here on the instructions page for you. And this page, of course, is also available to you in the actual 1.4 on the online LMS system. So once you have determined what 3 videos it is that you're going to watch, you are going to create a brief analysis. And I have an example for you, so don't panic. A brief analysis for each individual video. And then this next part of your assignment will be to create a list of 10 qualities, techniques, or presentation skills that made those presentations you watched so interesting or inspiring or captivating for you. Please take note that it's very important for the qualities that you provide specific examples from the presentation. So don't just tell me humor is important. Give me an example as to how someone used humor in their presentation. What made it so interesting to you? Don't just say eye contact or passion. Give me an example as to how that person showed that in their presentation. So with your presentation, you should include at least 2 images at minimum. Please make sure they're high quality images, guys. Don't just screenshot it off of the screen while you were watching the video. Do a simple Google search on the person and try to find images that encapsulate the emotion that you got from watching that particular video. What was their viewpoint? What were they thinking? What were they saying? Try to get images that evoke that same thought. And of course, make sure that you spell check, right? That's why we're using word processing programs, because it'll do most of the work for you. Please make sure that you read over your assignment before you turn it in, because the specific mechanics of the assignment is another things that I will be looking at when I grade your presentation each week. So I've put here a very, very basic, completely basic example of the formatting that you should use for this assignment, right? So this is very obscure, and I just kind of threw this together. So yours should look 10 times better than this. But I just wanted to cover a couple of pieces of really important information on here. First, make sure your name is on there. Sometimes I will batch download all of the assignments, and if you don't put your name on there, then I don't know who to really attach it to. So make sure you have that. Put the date on there. That is more for you than it is for me, so that when you ever get ready to reopen the file, that you know when the assignment was completed. And then, of course, the assignment. So 1.4 presentation analysis will pretty much be what you put here. So here's video 1. So of course, your title of the presentation itself. So this is one that I actually really like. I show it to my students a lot. It's Lies, Damned Lies, and Statistics about TED Talks. And essentially his whole video is giving you all of these funny stats about how to make the best TED Talk available. And you don't have to watch the video. It's not a requirement, but I just think it's really funny and I love it. And my students always get a great kick out of it. The name of the presenter, so who it is that's speaking, and then of course provide me a link to the video. For each of your videos, your analysis should be written so well that I just want to go watch your video. So make it easier for me and just give me the link to the video already. So for your analysis, you will of course write a paragraph that explains the presentation. So what was it about? Make sure that you use their exact name. So I would say something like during Jenny's presentation or during Sebastian's presentation, he did this. Don't just say the speaker did this and the speaker did that. Make sure that you use their exact name. Always be specific in your analysis. So don't just tell me again that they use humor. Give me examples of jokes that they use. Or don't just tell me that they gave you a personal story. What was that personal story about? For your images, again, make sure that they're high quality images, not just screenshots. And again, provide me the link as to where you obtained that information or that image. So you will do this 3 times. And again, as I mentioned before, there are a couple of example projects, a video of a couple of example projects already uploaded to the 1.4 assignment page. So please go in and review those as well, because those will be a little bit lengthier. So you'll get a better idea as to some of the information that you can include in there. Again, as long as you answer all of those prompts that were listed on the instructions page to the best of your abilities, you will be a shining star when completing this presentation assignment, and I know all of you are shining stars. And so you will do this 3 times. So you will have 1 for presentation 1, you'll have a 2 for presentation 2, and a 3 for video number 3 that you have watched and analyzed. Again, everything can be submitted in one file, so don't feel like you have to give me a separate file for every single video you watch. Put everything together. And then again, at the bottom, you will talk about the top 10 qualities. Please, guys, only give me 10. I know that the videos you watch will be super interesting and there will be a million things that they do that you absolutely love and adore and you want to do in your presentations. That's great. Only give me the top 10 qualities. And of course, always make sure that you give me an example. So again, don't just tell me Jenny was passionate about her topic. How did she show she was passionate? What about her presentation or her speech made you aware that she was passionate about her topic? Did she give you a little background on her childhood? Is that why you could tell she was so passionate about it? Was her voice changing as she was discussing it? Please make sure that you guys answer all of those questions. So again, reminder, your discussion initial post will be due on Wednesday, your final responses will be due on Sunday, and then this final assignment, 1.4 assignment, will be due on Sunday as well. All of your due dates are listed on the online system as well to keep you kind of on track with everything. So traditionally the way it works is for the actual assignments themselves, they will always be due on Sunday. And your discussion postings will be, your initial posting for your discussion will always be due on Wednesdays. And the reason for that is to kind of keep the conversation flowing. If I let every student respond to the discussion on Sunday, then it would be no discussion because everyone would, of course, wait until Sunday to answer their postings and to provide feedback. So in order to eliminate that issue, we've made it a requirement that students do their initial posting on Wednesday and then make sure all your responses are posted up there by Sunday. And then again, this assignment will be due on Sunday as well. All right, so like I said, I really honor your time, and so I want to make sure that we get out of here by 8 so that each of you can get started on your assignments. So I wanted to ask, does anyone have any questions that I can maybe answer? Again, I'm always available by email as well, but if you have a really quick question that relates to the assignment or some of the other information that I covered tonight, I just wanted to give you a little bit of opportunity to discuss that. While you're typing your questions, I'll give you a little bit of background on me. My name is Yasmin Chambers. I prefer that you refer to me as either Miss Chambers or Professor Chambers, just to kind of get you used to the professionalism side when you get ready to really step out into the work field. You always want to make sure that you are almost overly respectful in the beginning and then let that person establish how you refer to them differently. So that is my personal preference. I'm located here in sunny Orlando, Florida, where we, of course, only get about 2 weeks of winter every year. Last year was really weird. We got about 3 months of winter, which I've never experienced. So it was really, really rough out there. For 1.4, citing where we obtain the images. Yes, absolutely. In the video, it does talk about citing the images. However, the only thing I'm going to require for you all to do is to just post a link to the video or the image that you use. A link is completely fine for the purpose of this class. If you feel like going above and beyond and you want to do a citation, go for it. I can give you some feedback as to if it's correct or incorrect. So if you would like to do that, you're more than welcome to. But again, for the purpose of this class, because it is your first class, I will be just fine with you submitting a link to where you got the image. I know you didn't take the picture, so that's completely fine. What else? If you guys have anything else. Yes, I will always post the recordings within 24 hours of the online session. So again, they will be Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, and then usually by 7 p.m. the next day, most likely sooner than that. It will be available in the same go-to training. So this video will be posted in the 1.1 go-to training. Next week will be posted in 2.1, and so on and so forth. With that link, it does not matter where the link is. Just make sure that I can tell that's where you got the image from. So it's totally up to you all. If there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys this, if it will work. Get out there and create. I am so excited to work with all of you throughout these next 4 weeks, and I cannot wait to see your skills, your abilities. I can't wait to learn about what your interests are and what professions you want to go into and what brought you to Full Sail in the first place and ways that we can connect and interact with each other. So I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Again, please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to email me, ychambers@fullsail.com, as well as you can send me a message in the online student system as well. I look forward again to working with each and every one of you, and I wish you all a fabulous, fabulous good night.